Welcome back to another episode of Alpha Access EverQuest Next Landmark. In today's episode, I'll show you guys how you can deform and etch voxels to add minute detail to your creations. Stay tuned! Hello everybody and welcome back. Today's episode is all about voxel deformation and voxel etching. So let's jump right in and take a look. So our ultimate goal here is to make something like this. You can see most of our walls are always nice and flat, which for the most part looks kind of cool, but sometimes we want to add a little bit more detail, some micro detail. And we can do that with voxel etching. And you can see here what I've gone ahead and done as an example. You can see how now the walls, instead of being perfectly flat, it also has this indentation inside it now. I also went ahead and painted part of it, and just by clicking once with the paint tool, you can see I'm starting to get these diagonal stripes, which can kind of look pretty cool. You can kind of do some sort of brick pattern. Now this technique I found by checking out Schrodinger Cat's videos, and I'll leave a link for that for you guys in the video description below. She also goes over some of this in a little bit more detail. But for now, I'm just going to show you the technique real quick on how to get some deformation going on into your walls so you can add some of that little micro fine detail. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is take our 5x5 voxel cube that we made in our anti-voxel video. And I'll leave a link for that so you guys can check that out in case you missed it. But basically you're going to make a 5x5x5 voxel cube here. And this one has the complete middle cut out. We're going to take this guy, we're going to copy it, we're going to paste it. And I'm just going to move it up a little bit over here so we've got some room to work with. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fill in this entire area except for the very center square voxel. So there we go, we'll line this up. Alright, now this might be a little bit difficult to see, but I'm going to copy and paste it so you guys might be able to see this. Control C, Control V. And now if you can see with my template view here, there's that tiny little square voxel there in the middle. That square voxel is now hollow. Now that we've got that, we want to go ahead and smooth this guy. So I'm going to take this cube. And again, I'm going to smooth this guy down about 5 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. And we end up with this shape here. And just like the anti-voxel video, we're going to take the exact middle of this guy. And then I'm going to copy, and then I'm going to paste. So you can see the design we end up here once we pasted it. It's got some deformation already going on. You can see how it sort of sucks in a little bit. It's not completely flush. Now the next thing we want to do is take an anti-voxel. I went ahead and took this pyramid design, and I pasted it 2 voxels out. I can show you the other anti-voxels we made from the previous video. And you can feel free to use any of these. I'm mostly using this as a guide. Just sort of imagine you're making your own chisels. So go ahead here. I'm going to rotate it so we can see the shape better. There we go. I'm going to go flush in, and then I'm going to go 2 voxels out. 1 and 2. The main reason we're doing that is we want one empty voxel in between the deformation and our guide. Now that I have that, you can either template it from here so you have access to it later. But for now I'm just going to copy and I'm going to paste. Bring it over to my wall here, and I'm going to bring it out so we can see it. Then I'm going to rotate it around so we can see that pyramid. There we go. And what we want to do is make sure our deformation voxel is flush with the wall. So basically this is where you're going to be cutting into the wall. And we just move our camera around a little bit. We make sure we have that 1 voxel air buffer space. Actually, I'm going to hit shift click because this is getting to be a little bit unwieldy. So I'm going to go into tweak mode real quick and make sure everything is lined up pretty good. Alright, that looks pretty good. I'm just going to move it down a little bit so this is easier to see. Set my check mark. And there you go. You can see it's chopped into the wall here and it's left that same shape where you just crafted. But if we go ahead and paste it again, and then just go down the line here, you can see you're almost cutting in this nice line into the wall. So I'm going to go about 7 or 8 down, then I'm going to go 2 voxels up. I'm just going to bring it back. And just like with anti-voxels and micro-voxels, when you re-click over a voxel you've placed down, it smooths out those corners. And there we go. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to delete our little guide here. Don't really need that. And there you go. Now I placed some textures behind this so we could see this line. But if you take a look at the wall now we've got this nice divot in here. It's a really great tool for just adding that little bit of extra detail. You really break things up so they don't look so perfectly square and flat. And all I did for this pattern here was come over with my paint tool. And I'm going to grab some stucco. And if we just click, you can see it throws down this stripe. I'll go ahead and I'll pick up some, I think this was iron here. We'll go here, and then we'll go over here, and then we'll go back to stucco. And there we go. Now you can see we've got this pretty cool pattern. Alright folks, that'll about do it for this episode. I just wanted to quickly introduce you guys, if you hadn't checked it out already, to voxel deformation with anti-voxels. And a big thanks to Schrodinger Cat for letting us all know about this and sharing it with her first video. I'll leave the link, as I mentioned before, in the video description below, so be sure to check it out. And if you enjoyed the content, feel free to subscribe. If you've got a question, as always, feel free to leave one in the comment section below. Until next time, guys, take care.